radio show.
I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
A great host. Joe is great. Listen to his show.
Absolutely, 95.5.
Hey, everybody, this is Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. I just want to give a big thank you to my good friend Shelley Winters. Last night wouldn't have been possible without all of his help, night in and night out, speaking the truth about what this election was all about and about who was the best person for the job. So thank you, Shelley, and keep up the good work.
Comments on the reports of drone activity here on the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. Now, that said, we certainly take seriously the threat that can be posed by unmanned aircraft systems, which is why.
So you don't know what it is. You still haven't told us what it is. Shelley Winter Show live, local, topical, and relevant. That briefing went on forever. We understand that people are concerned. We understand they've got questions. We've got questions too, and we're working hard to get the answers to that. Well, what are they? They're not all airlines and helicopters and things like that. All of the sightings aren't. You said very clearly many of the sightings, not all of them. We haven't seen any indication thus far that there's a public safety risk. We're still investigating this. Oh, let me understand something. You haven't seen any indication thus far, there's a public safety risk. We are still investigating this. I cannot characterize for you definitively what these sightings are. Well, if you can't definitively tell us what the sightings are, and not all the sighting, and that not all the sightings are simply just drones, but many of them are, your words, not mine, then how can you tell us that there's no threat to public safety? Listen, this is what bothers me. Listen, Shelley Winter Show, right? I come on after Von Hessler Doctrine, and on one of these big days when there are big stories out there, sometimes I will come on the air and I may have a different view, or not an opposite, but just a different view, a different way of looking at the same story than the Von Hessler Doctrine, or in this case, Eric Von Hessler. Today is one of those days where he and I are in lockstep. We are in lockstep as to this story. How can you possibly tell us we are still investigating this? I cannot characterize for you definitively what these sightings are. So if you can't tell us what they are, you can't tell us that there's no threat to public safety. And anything you say to us, this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. This is why Donald Trump got elected. This is the problem. We don't trust you. You told us that leaving Afghanistan, you went and did press briefings after 13 soldiers, Army and Marines, and people who gave their life to defend this country, after they died in Afghanistan as you were botching the withdrawal. You told us it was just, some people got on a plane and left Afghanistan. That's how you basically spun it to us. This same guy, Jake Sullivan. It's just baffling to me that, I'm sorry, John Kirby, not Jake Sullivan. Sorry, I apologize for that. John Kirby, communications advisor, national security communications guy, John Kirby. This is the same guy. We don't believe you. Not as that we don't believe you. We just don't believe the entity that you're speaking for. This makes no sense to many of us. You have a congressman saying that it's Iran and a mothership, and now you're coming out saying something differently. People of New Jersey, there's thousands of sightings. They're telling these sightings. I think, I'm from that part of the world. I'm from New York City, born and raised, grew up there, moved to Georgia about 25 years ago. I can tell you that people in that part of the world, New Jersey, New York, tri-state area, not that more than anybody else, but they know the difference between a helicopter and an airplane. No one in Jersey is looking up in the sky and saying, oh, that airplane may be a drone. No, they look up in the sky and say, oh, that's an airplane. That's a helicopter. They know what a drone looks like. They know what something they've never seen in the skies before looks like. They're not dumb people. So you can't say many of the sightings are normal air traffic. No, the people wouldn't report it then. You're saying that people in New Jersey are looking up in the skies and seeing a 747 and saying, oh, my God, I think that's a drone. It's huge. No, they know what a plane looks like in the night sky. Everybody does. This is all baffling to me. And I'm not here to get on a radio and tell you that it's UFOs, they're coming out. I'm not here to tell you any of that. I'm here to tell you that there's a problem with the government. You've been lying to us for so long that we can't trust you. And it doesn't make us crazy. It doesn't make Shelley Winter crazy because he's questioning you. What it makes me is I have common sense. You know, if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're always lying, right? Forget relationship, right? A friend. You have a friend. And they're always telling stories. They're always embellishing, making up things, or just outright, just lying. But they're always just telling you untruths. Then at a certain point, that person, what they say to you, starts to just fall on deaf ears. Forget the fact that you may not hang out with them anymore, but when you are around them, when they're talking, you're not listening to them. Because this guy's always embellishing. He's always lying. He's always making things up. And that's where we all find ourselves right now with our government. No one believes this. And you make it hard for us to believe it when you say we understand that people are concerned. We understand they've got questions. We've got questions too. We're working hard to get answers to that. Okay? So if you don't have all the answers, then you can't tell me there's no threat to public safety. Police officers, any suspicious behavior by a police officer is investigated. If you're driving down the street and you're swerving, a police officer will follow you, not to give you a ticket, but will follow you for a while before he may or may not pull you over. Now, if he finds he saw you swerve once and you get back in the thing, it could be you spilled your coffee on yourself or something, and you drive straight for the rest of your trip, he'll pull away and go home or go on about his duty. But if you exhibit any kind of suspicious behavior, a police officer will investigate. This is suspicious. How is it that you don't have answers? And that's what we don't trust. And we think you're lying to us. That's why if you look at social media, everyone is saying the same thing. We don't believe you. And it's sad that we're at this point because I want to believe my government. I talk about movies and books and all that stuff all the time because I love movies and television shows and all this stuff. And that's one of the biggest things. That people look at things and they're like, oh, the government said this. We don't believe you. Because you're continuously shading the truth to us, if not outright lying to us. And it doesn't make the people who don't believe you any less smart, lack common sense. They don't have to be college educated, anything like that. It's just that if you continuously tell us bold-faced lies or shades of the truth, or you hide things from us when we're looking at something, it's hard for us to take you seriously and believe you. And the only people that do tend to believe you at this point are the people that hate the person that's telling us something opposite, and they just want to go against that person. Those people should be pushed aside and not listened to at all anyway. The Shelley Winter Show, 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. We've got a big show for you tonight. Oh, I've got so much to talk about. Clark Howard joins us on the last half hour of the show to talk about this weekend and Clark's Christmas Kids, but we've got a bunch to talk about. Don't go anywhere. You do not want to miss this show because there's a bunch out there. We'll be right back. Shelley Winter Show, 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk.